Is cannabis just another commodity in your life, or do you sense a deeper, almost forgotten sacred potential locked within its essence? In this journey, we're not just talking about cannabis, we're unlocking ancient blueprints to transform your interaction with it, and potentially yourself, from casual consumption to profound spiritual communion. Ancient cultures didn't just use this plant, they partnered with it. What if their lost art of ritual holds the key to the depth you're seeking? Are you ready to move beyond the superficial and explore how conscious ritual can turn a simple plant into an ally for your spiritual awakening? There's a subtle dissonance many feel today, a quiet ache of something missing in our modern engagement with cannabis. It's a plant now widely available, often marketed for recreation, for fleeting relief. Yet, this very accessibility, this commercial sheen, can sometimes obscure a more ancient, more profound legacy, a legacy whispered in sacred texts and echoed in the practices of wisdom traditions. This isn't just about a plant. It's about our human yearning for genuine connection, for a meaning that transcends the everyday. In a world saturated with noise and endless distraction, we often find ourselves searching for something more, something real. This search for depth, for an authentic spiritual growth, can feel at odds with a culture that often reduces even a historically sacred plant to a mere product. The result? A potential for deeper self-knowledge, for an expansion of consciousness, often remains untapped, leaving a lingering sense of an opportunity lost, a connection unmade. Many today use cannabis and find themselves asking, is this all there is? That question itself is a spiritual calling. It's the soul recognizing that the true potential of any sacred tool lies not in the tool itself, but in the consciousness we bring to it. The ancient world understood this. They didn't just consume, they communed. They didn't just seek an effect, they sought an experience framed by intention and reverence. How then, in this bustling 21st century, can we begin to reclaim that lost sense of the sacred? How can we shift our relationship with this plant from a casual encounter to a meaningful dialogue, one that aligns with our deepest aspirations for personal growth and a more profound understanding of life's mysteries? The answer, perhaps surprisingly, lies in an often misunderstood practice, ritual. Not ritual as empty dogma or rigid formality, but ritual as a timeless technology of the spirit, a deliberate, conscious framework we create to elevate an act, to focus the mind, and to open the heart to a richer, more transformative experience. It's about bringing the sacred back into focus, not by looking outward to grand temples, but by cultivating the temple within. Consider this. The Atharva Veda, a revered Hindu text dating back over 3 millennia, doesn't just mention cannabis. It honors it as one of 5 sacred plants, calling it a source of happiness, a joy giver, a liberator. This wasn't a casual endorsement. It was an acknowledgement of its potential to aid in profound spiritual quests, a perspective that reaches far beyond the simple pursuit of relaxation. Their understanding was rooted in a context of intentional use, often within a ritualistic framework designed to unlock these deeper gifts. If this plant was once viewed as a key to liberation, a partner in the pursuit of profound joy and understanding, what essential software, what guiding principles of ritualistic engagement did these ancient cultures employ that we may have inadvertently deleted from our modern operating systems? What wisdom can we unearth to reinform our own journey? Let us first demystify this word, ritual. For many, it conjures images of ancient, perhaps unapproachable ceremonies. But at its core, ritual is a profoundly human act, a form of conscious engineering of our inner experience. It is the art of imbuing ordinary actions with extraordinary intention, transforming the mundane into a conduit for the sacred. It's about creating a deliberate structure, a focused pathway for our consciousness to travel. Consider an architect designing a sacred space. They don't merely arrange walls and windows. They meticulously consider the flow of light, the resonance of materials, the energetic imprint of shapes, each element chosen to evoke a specific state of reverence and contemplation. This isn't just construction, it's conscious design for a spiritual experience. In the same way, spiritual ritual prepares and combines the elements of our consciousness, preparing us not just to experience something, but to receive its deepest potential, to process its nuances with greater clarity and depth, rather than allowing it to become mere background noise in our lives. Modern psychology and neuroscience are beginning to illuminate what ancient wisdom traditions have long understood. When we engage in focused, repetitive actions infused with intention, a hallmark of ritual, we are actively shaping our neural pathways. This is the essence of mindfulness, of focused attention, which we now know can lead to significant changes in brain structure and function, enhancing our capacity for self-development and inner peace. The clear intention set within a ritual acts as a powerful directive for our attention, a key component in harnessing the brain's innate plasticity. Furthermore, the symbolism often employed in rituals can bypass the analytical mind, speaking directly to our deeper emotional and subconscious landscapes, preparing the very ground of our being for new insights and transformative experiences. The first cornerstone of this inner blueprint, this conscious engineering, is therefore a focused and clear intent. This is not a fleeting wish or a vague hope, but a deliberately chosen vector, a north star for your inner journey. It is the conscious direction you give to your awareness before embarking on any experience you wish to elevate. Consider the well-documented power of the placebo effect. Studies consistently show that our beliefs and expectations, our intentions, in essence, can profoundly influence our physiological and psychological responses. When a ritual provides a structure for these intentions, it becomes a potent, self-directed tool for shaping our reality. It's a principle of mind over matter that the ancients grasped not through double-blind studies, but through direct empirical exploration of consciousness itself. They understood, intuitively and experientially, that how we approach an experience radically determines what we receive from it. And here lies a profound consideration, does it not? If modern science itself is beginning to affirm the capacity of our focused mind to actively shape our lived experience through the power of intention, imagine the untapped potential that unfolds when we consciously weave this intention into ritualistic practices that have been refined and passed down through millennia, designed specifically to amplify this very power. But how do we craft an intention that is more than just a thought? One that truly serves as this precise tuning for the soul, especially when we consider working with something as potentially amplifying as cannabis, a plant known to magnify our inner states. An intention, in the context of sacred ritual, is far more than a simple goal or a line item on a spiritual to-do list. It is a profound calling from your deeper self, a whisper from the core of your being that points toward inner peace, authentic purpose, or needed healing. It is the voice of your soul articulating its next step on the path of evolution. When working with a plant like cannabis, known for its ability to expand perception and amplify inner states, a clear and resonant intention acts as a spiritual GPS, guiding your awareness through the vast landscapes of consciousness that may open up. Without this inner guidance system, one might drift into confusion, anxiety, or simply miss the profound opportunities for self-knowledge that arise. So, how do we cultivate such an intention? One that is not merely mental, but vibrates with the truth of our current needs and aspirations. The first step is always inward, into stillness. Before you even consider engaging in a ritual, create a space for quietude. Turn away from the external clamor and listen. Ask your wisest, innermost self. What does my soul truly need to learn at this moment? What aspect of my being is calling for release, for understanding, or for a deeper connection? This practice of inner listening, a form of meditation in itself, is foundational. It ensures your intention springs from a place of genuine self-awareness, not from a fleeting desire or an external suggestion. Once a direction begins to emerge from this inner quiet, the way you formulate your intention matters. Strive for words that evoke the feeling of the desired state, not just the intellectual concept. For instance, instead of merely thinking, "I want to understand peace," you might formulate it as, "My intention is to embody the frequency of peace, to feel its resonance in every cell of my being." This shift engages more of your whole self. It is also beneficial to frame your intention in positive, affirmative language, focusing on what you wish to cultivate or move towards, rather than what you wish to avoid. Crucially, check if this emerging intention aligns with your deepest values, with the overarching trajectory of your spiritual growth. Does it feel authentic to who you are becoming? Does it resonate with a sense of purpose that feels both personal and perhaps even connected to a larger whole? Let's consider a few creative examples, focusing on the why behind them. If your aim is to unlock creative insight, your intention might be, "I intend to dissolve the internal barriers that hinder the expression of my unique vision so that I may contribute more beauty or innovative solutions to the world." For profound emotional healing, it could be, "I intend to approach the roots of this recurring pain with courage and profound self-compassion, that I may transmute this wound into wisdom, resilience, and a deeper capacity to love." Or for a more direct spiritual connection with the universe, source, or God, "My intention is to open my heart fully, to consciously feel the divine presence that permeates all existence, and to joyfully recognize this same sacred presence alive within me." Think of your intention as a sacred contract you make with yourself for the duration of that specific ritual or session. It is a commitment to a particular quality of presence, a particular direction of inner exploration. Pause for a moment now. If you were to quiet your mind and tune into the subtle guidance of your soul's GPS, what destination, what quality of being or understanding would it indicate for your next intentional journey inward, perhaps with the aid of this ancient plant ally? With a clear intention set, like a finely tuned compass needle pointing towards your soul's true north, the next step in our conscious engineering of sacred experience is the creation of a consecrated space. This is more than just finding a quiet room. It's about consciously crafting your personal alchemist's laboratory, an environment that not only supports but actively reflects and amplifies your sacred intention. This space doesn't need to be elaborate or ornate. Its power lies not in its aesthetic perfection, according to external standards, but in the energy and intention you invest in it. It could be a dedicated corner in your home, a serene spot in nature, or even a temporarily claimed area that you consciously clear and dedicate for the purpose of your ritual. The key is to make it feel distinct from the everyday, a sanctuary for your inner work. This involves physical cleanliness and order, but also energetic clearing, perhaps by burning a little sage or palo santo, playing a calming sound, or simply holding the strong intention to purify the space. You might choose to include elements that resonate deeply with you and your current intention. A candle to represent inner light, crystals that hold particular energies, meaningful images, or items gathered from nature that speak to your connection with the earth. Imagine your ritual space as an artist's sacred studio, cleared of all but the essential. Every tool, every pigment, every prepared canvas is intentionally placed not just for function, but to invite inspiration, to create a field where the muse can freely whisper and the soul's vision can take form. Similarly, your consecrated space becomes a physical anchor for your spiritual aspiration, a visible reminder of the sacred journey you are undertaking. Within this alchemical laboratory, two more interconnected principles come alive: the act of reciprocal offering and the cultivation of radical gratitude. Let us reframe the concept of offering. It is not about sacrifice in a sense of loss, but rather about acknowledging a reciprocal energetic exchange. When we make a small, heartfelt offering, perhaps a bit of the herb itself given back to the earth, a libation of pure water, a simple flower, a softly sung chant, or even a sincere promise to use the insights gained for the betterment of ourselves and others, we shift our stance. We move from being a mere consumer to a conscious participant in a sacred exchange. This act cultivates humility and acknowledges the plant not as an inert substance, but as a partner, a representative of nature's vast intelligence. This aligns with a profound wisdom found in many indigenous cultures. To truly receive, one must also be willing to give, to participate in the cycle of generosity. Interwoven with offering is the continuous cultivation of gratitude. This is not a polite afterthought, but a foundational frequency, a vibrational state that tunes your entire being to openness and abundance. Begin your ritual with gratitude for the plant itself, for the opportunity for insight and healing, for the very breath that sustains you. Let gratitude permeate the experience and conclude with it as well. Psychologically, gratitude shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is present, opening the heart and making us more receptive to positive and transformative energies. These practices, consecrating your space, making a heartfelt offering, and steeping your being in gratitude, are far from empty gestures. They are potent psychological and energetic tools. They prepare your mind, body, and spirit, creating a field of heightened receptivity and profound respect. They signal to all levels of your being that you are stepping out of the ordinary and into a space of intentional, sacred communion, ready to engage with the consciousness of the plant not as a conqueror, but as a humble and willing student. Consider the intriguing, though often debated, research of Dr. Masaru Emoto, who suggested that human intention, and specifically words like love and gratitude, could visibly alter the crystalline structure of water. While the scientific community may continue to discuss the precise mechanisms, his work touches upon an ancient, intuitive understanding. Our focused thoughts, our deeply felt emotions, and our sincere attitudes possess a tangible energetic impact. They shape the field around us, and most importantly, the field within us. When we consciously bring these qualities into our ritual, we are not just going through motions. We are actively co-creating the very conditions for a profound and meaningful experience. With our intention as our guiding compass and our consecrated space prepared like an alchemist's carefully arranged laboratory, how did different cultures across time and geography translate these core principles into living, breathing practices with cannabis, transforming smoke into a vehicle for sacred insight? Let us now journey through time, listening to the echoes of traditions that embraced cannabis not as a means of escape, but as a sacrament, a sacred tool to deepen devotion and unlock communal pathways to wisdom. We'll explore two distinct, yet equally profound lineages, each offering us valuable insights for our own modern quest for meaning. First, we turn to the ancient spiritual landscape of India, where cannabis, in forms like bhang and charas, has long been associated with Shiva, one of the principal deities. Shiva is the great ascetic, the Mahayogi, the destroyer of illusion, and the embodiment of transformative power. For certain Shaivite sadhus, or wandering holy men, cannabis is not a recreational substance, but an aid in their rigorous spiritual disciplines, their tapas. The chillum, a conical clay pipe, becomes more than a mere smoking device. It is a ritual implement, a focal point for intense concentration. In the quiet solitude of a mountain cave, or at the bustling site of a pilgrimage, the sadhu might use cannabis to deepen meditation, to aid in the contemplation of reality's true nature, and to facilitate the arduous process of burning away the ego's attachments and illusions, seeking the realization of the Atman, the true self, and its ultimate unity with Brahman, the Godhead. Their powerful exclamation, "Boom Shankar," often accompanies the practice, an invocation of Shiva's transformative energy. The core principle we can draw from this path is the profound potential of cannabis, when approached with disciplined, devotional focus, to aid in radical introspection, the deconstruction of egoic structures, and the dedicated search for inner peace and ultimate truth. From the solitary ascetic's path, we shift to the vibrant communal heart of the Rastafari movement. Here, ganja, as cannabis is reverently called, is a holy sacrament, the wisdom weed, the healing of the nations. Its use is deeply intertwined with spiritual communion with Jah, their term for God, and with the teachings of Haile Selassie II, whom they regard as a divine manifestation. A central ritual practice is the reasoning session. This is a communal gathering where ganja is often shared, typically from a chalice or a large water pipe passed in a circle. As the sacred herb is consumed, a space opens for deep, inspired discussion on matters of theology, philosophy, social justice, and the interpretation of sacred texts. It is an act of collective worship, a quest for divine revelation through inspired speech, what they call word, sound, and power. The emphasis is on community, on the wisdom that emerges from shared experience and sacred dialogue, and on a direct, unmediated connection with the divine. The Rastafari path illuminates cannabis as a powerful catalyst for meaningful dialogue, for the fostering of spiritual community, and for the shared pursuit of wisdom and enlightenment. It highlights the sacredness of listening as much as speaking, and the strength found in spiritual unity. Notice in both these traditions the utter absence of frivolity. Whether in the austere solitude of the yogi or the dynamic assembly of the reasoning circle, cannabis serves a purpose that transcends the mundane. It is dedicated to a higher aim, the relentless pursuit of truth, be it found in the silent depths of the individual soul or in the resonant chorus of communal seeking. The form of the ritual, the intention behind it, profoundly shapes the experience and its outcome. But what of traditions where the focus shifts from devotional transcendence to the intricate balance of inner energies and a direct partnership with the very intelligences of the natural world? What insights can the Taoist way and the diverse shamanic paths offer to our understanding of sacred plant communion? Our exploration now takes us to traditions that emphasize the cultivation of internal harmony and a direct, respectful engagement with the conscious energies of the natural world. Here, cannabis was often seen not as a deity's sacrament, but as a potent tool within a larger system of self-cultivation, or as a conscious ally in understanding the deeper fabric of existence. Let us first consider the Taoist path, an ancient Chinese philosophy and spiritual practice centered on living in harmony with the Tao, the fundamental, unnameable principle that is the source and pattern of the universe. The Taoist adept seeks health, longevity, and spiritual immortality through the cultivation and balancing of qi, the vital life force energy. Historically, within certain Taoist alchemical traditions, cannabis known as ma or mafen was documented, though its use was nuanced and approached with considerable caution. Figures like the renowned 4th century alchemist Ge Hong noted its inclusion in formulas, often combined with other powerful herbs like ginseng. These concoctions were not for casual use, but were employed by adepts to, as texts describe, see demons, which can be interpreted as perceiving subtle negative energies or confronting the shadow aspects of one's own psyche, and with sustained, disciplined practice to achieve communication with spirits or to lighten the body, facilitating out-of-body experiences or heightened states of metaphysical awareness. A critical aspect of this tradition was the prerequisite of extensive self-purification and the stabilization of one's qi before engaging with such potent substances. For the unprepared or imbalanced individual, it was believed that cannabis could release uncontrolled qi, leading to confusion or detriment rather than illumination. The focus was never merely to get high, but to meticulously refine perception, balance internal energies, and achieve subtle states of consciousness, always within a framework of profound self-awareness and energetic equilibrium. The core principle here is the understanding of cannabis as a potent amplifier of one's existing energetic state. Its wise use demands prior self-cultivation and a commitment to inner balance. It reflects and magnifies what is already present within. From the alchemical chambers of Taoist sages, we journey to the diverse world of shamanic practices. Shamanism, an umbrella term for a vast array of indigenous spiritual traditions found across the globe, generally perceives the world as alive, animate, and permeated by spirits. Nature in all its forms is seen as conscious and intelligent. Specific plants in this worldview are often revered as master plants or plant teachers, each possessing its own unique spirit, wisdom, and medicine. In some of these shamanic cultures, cannabis has been, and continues to be, employed as one such plant ally. Its use is typically undertaken by the shaman, or by individuals under the careful guidance of an experienced practitioner, to enter altered states of consciousness. These states facilitate travel to other realms of reality, what we might term metaphysical dimensions, to communicate with nature spirits, ancestral beings, and the spirit of the cannabis plant itself. This communion is sought for various purposes: to diagnose and treat illnesses, which are often seen as having spiritual or energetic roots, to receive guidance for the community, or to restore harmony between the human world and the spirit world. The emphasis is profoundly relational. One does not simply use the plant, one establishes a respectful, reciprocal relationship with its indwelling spirit. Learning comes directly from this interaction. Rituals involving special diets, sacred songs or ikaros, tobacco smoke for cleansing and protection, and other ceremonial elements often accompany the use of plant teachers, creating a safe and sacred container for the experience. The key takeaway from these shamanic perspectives is the profound invitation to relate to cannabis not as a substance, but as a conscious intelligence, a potential ally and teacher that, when approached with deep respect, humility, and within a structured ritual context, can offer profound healing and wisdom. Have you ever had an experience, perhaps while using cannabis reflectively, where you felt taught or guided, as if an intelligence beyond your everyday mind was subtly communicating with you? This very feeling resonates with the core of the shamanic approach, the understanding that we can indeed enter into a learning partnership with the consciousness of the plant world. As we've journeyed through these diverse cultural landscapes, from the ascetic peaks of the Himalayas to the communal fires of Rastafari reasoning, from the serene gardens of Taoist alchemists to the vibrant spirit worlds of shamanic practice, a compelling pattern begins to illuminate our understanding. It's as if a master weaver has been at work, using different colored threads, different textures, yet creating a tapestry with an underlying unifying design. We can now begin to discern these universal threads, the fundamental principles that connect all these seemingly disparate approaches to the sacred through the conscious use of plants like cannabis. The first and perhaps most crucial thread is that of sacred intent. This is not merely a passing thought or a casual objective. In every tradition, the engagement with a potent plant was preceded by, and infused with, a clear, deeply held purpose. Whether it was the pursuit of divine communion, profound self-knowledge, communal healing, or visionary insight, the plant was approached with a specific question in the heart, a sacred aim, not out of boredom or as a simple diversion. This intention acted as the compass, guiding the entire experience. The second thread is the consecrated field. Invariably, the act of engaging with the sacred plant was set apart from the mundane flow of daily life. A specific time was chosen, a particular space was prepared, whether a physical temple, a quiet natural sanctuary, or an energetically cleared personal area. This deliberate creation of a sacred container signaled a transition in consciousness, an elevation of awareness, preparing both the individual and the environment for a significant undertaking. Third, we observe the thread of conscious alliance. This represents a fundamental paradigm shift, from using a substance to relating with an intelligence. The plant was rarely seen as an inert material to be exploited for its chemical effects. Instead, it was often revered as a spirit, a teacher, a gift from the divine, or a conscious ally. This perspective naturally engendered profound respect, often expressed through offerings, prayers of gratitude, and a willingness to listen to and learn from the plant's own wisdom. This implies a reciprocal relationship, a partnership in the journey of discovery. Fourth, there is the unmistakable thread of embodied presence. The focus was intensely on the present moment, on the unfolding experience. Whether achieved through deep meditation, focused chanting, attentive listening within a group, or mindful observation of inner states, the aim was to be fully present. This quality of mindful awareness is essential for truly receiving the subtle insights and transformative energies that can arise. And finally, the fifth thread is that of deliberate integration. The ritual or ceremony was rarely considered an end in itself. It was understood to be a catalyst, an opening. The real work often began after the direct experience, in the dedicated effort to understand, to process, and to weave the insights and lessons learned into the fabric of one's daily life, relationships, and spiritual path. Without this conscious integration, even the most profound visions risk becoming mere fleeting memories rather than engines of lasting personal growth. The plant itself is not the sole source of the magic. It acts as a profound catalyst. The true alchemy, the deep transformation, occurs within your consciousness, significantly shaped and guided by the sacred structure and the reverent quality of awareness you bring to the ritual. You are the alchemist, and your focused mind, your open heart, and your intentional actions are the essential elements in your own inner laboratory. This understanding is incredibly empowering. It means we don't need to perfectly replicate ancient forms or seek external gurus to begin walking a more sacred path with plant allies. The core principles are accessible, universal, and can be adapted to our own lives, right here, right now. The temple, in its truest sense, can be built within. Now that we have grasped these universal threads, these timeless principles gleaned from ancient wisdom, how can we translate them into a meaningful, personal practice adapted to the realities of our modern lives? The goal is not to rigidly imitate the past, but to draw inspiration from it, to forge our own sacred fire using a framework that is both potent and flexible. Let us explore a practical structure, a cycle of engagement that you can personalize. We can call this the sacred cycle. First, set your intention in space. Before you begin, revisit the vital importance of your intention, as we explored earlier. What is the true north of your soul for this particular session? What clarity, healing, or connection are you sincerely seeking? Allow this to crystallize. Then prepare your space. This is your sanctuary, your personal dojo. Choose a location where you feel safe, undisturbed, and can fully immerse yourself. Cleanse it, both physically and energetically if you feel called. Perhaps light a candle, burn a little incense, or place objects that hold spiritual significance for you. Crucially, minimize or eliminate digital distractions. This space is for you and your inner work. Next, attune and ask. With your intention clear and your space prepared, take a few moments to attune your own being. This can be through simple, conscious breathing exercises, a short meditation to quiet the mind, or any practice that helps you center yourself and arrive fully in the present moment. Then, as you hold the cannabis before partaking, engage in a moment of asking or offering. This is where gratitude and respect take tangible form. You might silently or softly speak your appreciation to the spirit of the plant, to the earth that nurtured it. You could make a small, symbolic offering, a few drops of water, a single flower petal, or simply a heartfelt promise to use the experience with wisdom and for positive growth. Then consume consciously. This is a pivotal moment. Approach the act of consumption not as a hurried gesture, but with deliberate slowness and mindful presence. Be aware of the aroma, the texture, the taste. As you partake, bring your clearly defined intention back to the forefront of your mind. Let this act be an affirmation of that purpose. Following this, receive and reflect. As the effects begin to unfold, adopt an attitude of open, curious receptivity. Allow whatever arises, insights, emotions, memories, sensations, to come forth without immediate judgment or the need to analyze everything. Your role here is primarily that of a compassionate witness to your own inner landscape. If you feel so inclined, having a journal nearby can be a powerful ally. a way to capture the fleeting whispers of insight or the contours of significant feelings as they emerge. Resist the urge to control the experience, rather flow with it, anchored by your intention. Then express gratitude and emerge. As you feel the direct intensity of the experience begin to wane, consciously bring your awareness back to gratitude. Offer thanks once more for whatever was revealed, for the journey itself, for the safety of your sacred space. Plan for a gentle re-entry into your ordinary state of awareness. Perhaps have some tea, a light, grounding snack, or simply sit in quiet contemplation for a while longer. Avoid rushing immediately back into demanding activities or digital overload. Finally, the cycle continues with document and digest. This is the crucial first step of integration. Soon after your session, or perhaps the following morning when your mind is fresh, take time to document your experience. Write down any key insights, significant feelings, vivid imagery, or questions that arose. This isn't about creating a perfect narrative, but about capturing the essence of your journey. This process of documenting begins the vital work of digesting the experience, of making sense of it, and preparing to weave its wisdom into your life. Remember, this framework is a guide, not a rigid prescription. Feel empowered to adapt it, to infuse it with your own creativity and intuition. The most potent rituals are those that resonate authentically with your own spirit. Your sincerity, your presence, and your willingness to engage deeply are the true ingredients that ignite the sacred fire within. The ritual itself, the period of direct engagement with the plant in your consecrated space, may feel like a distinct event, a peak experience. However, its true value, its lasting transformative power, unfolds in the days, weeks, and even months that follow. This is the vital ongoing journey of integration. The ritual can open a window, offering profound glimpses of truth, beauty, or healing. But integration is the conscious work that allows the light from that window to permanently illuminate the various rooms of your everyday life. What precisely is integration in this context? It's far more than simply remembering an interesting experience or a flash of insight. It is the dedicated process of actively weaving those insights, those newfound perspectives, those subtle energetic shifts into the very fabric of your being and your daily existence. It's about allowing the experience to inform your thoughts, to soften your emotional reactions, to guide your choices, and to reshape your relationships with yourself, with others, and with the world at large. Without this conscious, often diligent effort of integration, even the most extraordinary visions or the deepest spiritual openings risk becoming like beautiful, exotic souvenirs that gather dust on a shelf, admired occasionally, but ultimately separate from the lived reality of our personal growth and self-development. This journey of integration is not always easy. The return to the ordinary world, with its familiar demands and distractions, can sometimes feel jarring. The ego, our conditioned sense of self, may even resist the new truths or expanded perspectives encountered during the ritual, as these can challenge its established patterns and comfort zones. There can also be a genuine difficulty in translating profound, often nonverbal mystical insights into practical, actionable steps in our complex lives. So, what are some sustainable strategies for navigating this crucial phase, for truly embodying the wisdom received? Firstly, a regular contemplative practice, such as daily meditation or mindfulness, can be invaluable. This keeps the inner channel of introspection open, allowing you to continue to process and understand the layers of meaning from your ritual experience over time. Secondly, create anchors for your key insights. Choose one or two of the most resonant understandings that emerged and find simple ways to bring them to your awareness throughout the day. This could be a carefully chosen word or phrase written on a small card, a reminder set on your phone, or an image that symbolizes the insight placed where you will see it often. Thirdly, and perhaps most powerfully, translate insight into aligned action. Ask yourself, what is one small, tangible change I can make in my behavior, my communication, or my daily routine today that reflects what I learned or felt during my ritual? If you experienced a deep sense of compassion, for instance, consciously practice an act of kindness. If you gained clarity on a limiting belief, actively choose a different thought when that belief arises. Fourth, cultivate conscious internal dialogue. Become more aware of your habitual thought patterns and self-talk. Are they in harmony with the new awareness gained, or are they pulling you back into old, unhelpful narratives? Gently redirect your thoughts when necessary. Spending time in nature can also be a wonderfully grounding and supportive practice for integration. The natural world often mirrors the organic, cyclical processes of inner growth and can help to stabilize and assimilate subtle energetic shifts. And for some, creative expression, be it through journaling in more depth, drawing, painting, music, or movement, can be a powerful way to explore and integrate the non-linear, symbolic aspects of a profound spiritual experience. Consider this metaphor. Integration is like tending to a rare and precious seed that you received during your ritual. The ceremony itself planted that seed in the soil of your consciousness. The ongoing work of integration is the consistent watering, the providing of sunlight through continued reflection, and the nurturing of the fertile ground of your daily life, allowing that seed to sprout, to take root, and ultimately to blossom into lasting transformation. Be patient and extend profound self-compassion throughout this process. Integration is not a race, nor is it always a linear progression. There will be moments of clarity and moments of seeming obscurity. Trust the unfolding. Think for a moment about a past experience that felt truly significant to you. Perhaps it involved cannabis, perhaps not. How did you, or how might you have, consciously nurtured its wisdom so that it became not just a memory, but a living part of who you are today? What insight from a past journey are you inspired to water more consistently in your life right now? We have journeyed together, exploring how focused intention, the creation of consecrated space, a spirit of conscious alliance with the plant through offering and gratitude, and the dedicated art of integration can indeed transform our engagement with cannabis. We've seen how these principles, echoed through the wisdom of ancient traditions, can elevate a simple act into a profound opportunity for spiritual awakening and personal growth, moving far beyond mere recreation into the realm of sacred communion. Remember, the most potent rituals are not necessarily the most elaborate or arcane. Their true power lies in the sincerity of your heart, the clarity of your consciousness, and your willingness to show up fully for your own unfolding. The ancient forms offer us invaluable inspiration, but the living ritual is the one that breathes with your authentic spirit. In the end, the smoke invariably dissipates, the plant material returns to the earth, the specific moment of the ritual passes. But the true essence, the sacred fire ignited within, is meant to be carried forward. It is not confined to a special time or place. Ultimately, you become the ritual. Your life becomes the ceremony. You are the sacred space. Your breath is a continuous offering. Your mindful actions become the embodiment of the wisdom you've touched. The grandest, most impactful ritual is, in truth, a life lived with profound presence, with unwavering purpose, and with an open, compassionate heart. As the poet Rumi so beautifully expressed, in a sentiment that resonates deeply with the mystic's journey, "I am not these ashes, nor this smoke. I am the consuming fire." May your practice, in whatever form it takes, be that fire, the fire that gently consumes illusion, that warms the spirit, and that brightly reveals the unwavering truth of your own inherent divine essence. As we conclude our time together for now, carry this simple thought, this gentle inquiry with you. How might you infuse just one small moment of your day tomorrow with the same quality of sacred presence, the same focused intention that you would bring to your most cherished ritual? For it is in these seemingly small acts of conscious living that the profound truly takes root. If this exploration has ignited something within you, a spark of recognition or a call to deeper engagement, please honor that resonance. You can do so by liking this video, by subscribing to Mystic Sages for more journeys into ancient wisdom brought forth for modern lives, and perhaps by sharing this with someone else who you feel might also be seeking a more meaningful connection on their path. And in the comments below, we invite you to share just one word that captures the essence of what sacred ritual now means to you, or what it could mean in your life. Let us together create a collective tapestry of understanding, a testament to the diverse ways we can all seek and find the sacred. Thank you for walking this path with us. The journey continues within you.